Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Oh wow! You know what? Let's start with Kate and Jennifer. Jennifer, here's the thing. I am trying to give this woman the benefit of the doubt that she just found out something about her husband. That he was with another woman, and the type of woman that she is, given their history, and the fact that for a whole year he has lied straight to her face. And that's wrong. Alright? I get it. It's wrong. You're upset. But then I also kind of look at the situation, when she's sitting there talking to Kate, and she's all, first of all, I was like, what the hell? She's all like, oh, well, you're not going anywhere. Really? And then she brings up like, "Oh, I'm an investigator, and I'm da 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 this and da 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 da." I was like, "Okay, all right, just calm down, all right." I just feel like she's sitting there acting like this 16-year-old little girl that is practically throwing a temper tantrum. Um, and you know what? Kate set her ass straight. All right. She pretty much said the same thing that Jack and probably anyone else is going to sit there and say this situation. Actually, tell you the truth, she said the same thing. That Jack was at his lowest point, and he had one indiscretion, and the next day he felt like it was wrong. And I just feel like we just keep just going around the same thing over and over and over again with her. First Jack says it, then she says the exact same thing. And at one point, Jennifer said it. So it's like, what is it that you need to discuss with her? I just. And finally, after a while, Kate was like, listen, you need to get over yourself. Like, it happened once. How long was you supposed to sit there and wait for you? And even after, he still waited for you. She's making it seem like, this was some sort of torn love affair or something that, he's been eyeing her for like a year or something. That's the way that she's acting. And by the way, she put her hands on Kate, which I was not a fan of. And so when Kate slapped her back, I was like, she had that shocked look on her face. I was like, really? Sweetheart, what fantasy land do you live in where you just get to just hit somebody and it's just, no, that's cool. Nothing bad, nothing's gonna happen to you. She really had that shocked look on her face, like she was really surprised. And I was like, wow. I have so many things to say. None of them are good, so I'm just not going to. But after Kate set her straight, you know, she was walking and she met up with Jack. Well, she was walking into the hotel, and then Jack called her, and of course she pretty much started to act like a 16-year-old girl and running the hotel or whatever. And I'm just like, awesome. So this is how we're dealing with our problems. That's great. After everything that she said, after everything that Kate said, you have a marriage together, you have kids together, you have a life together, you build memories together, and you see him, and that's how you are acting. Great. That's very adult of you. And I get it. I get it. I'm trying to look at it from both sides. I understand that she's angry and she's hurt. And apparently this didn't happen that long ago, but like at some point you are gonna actually have to, be an adult and talk to him like an adult. Just throwing it out there. Now, yeah, Jack was at the bar, um, talking to Roman about how he screwed up. And here's the thing: before he even said anything, he goes into this roundabout way, and before he even gets to the point, of who he wound up screwing up with, Roman was like, "Oh, it was Kate, right?" He has that look on his face like he's really surprised. I was like, "Bro, this Like, not only was he there and he saw everything that happened, and you can already sit there and guess. Roman doesn't come across as a character that's like foolish, that's gonna be like, what, really? Like, he seemed like he's been around the block a couple of times, and you know, I don't understand why Jack was so surprised. And granted, this is just taking it from me. This is just my opinion based off the time that I've seen Roman, which is a handful of times. So I had no idea what this guy was like before I started watching it. But yeah, he pretty much just kind of goes into his story about how he met up with Kate, and it was one night stand, and yada 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 yada. And Roman just gives him some advice of just keep trying. You can't go backwards. You just got to go forwards. Because Jack does the whole if I didn't drink, if I didn't do that, if I didn't cross the road, and it's like Roman's like, yo, you can't do that. You can't go back in time. Just be a better person moving forward, pretty much. And yeah, we already know where that scene went. So let's talk about Gwen. Gwen goes to see Roth, and she is so proud of herself. I blew up her life and this, that, and the third. I'm not gonna lie. After a while, I was just like, yeah, okay. So she's acting like Gwen again. Befriending someone and blowing up their life. She made it seem like she was coming at her head on, and she got one over on her. The fact that you had to sit there and try to befriend her and act like you were really cool with her, and then stab her in the back, and she's sitting there acting like that's some sort of victory. It was like, wow, lady, you must be really proud to be, plotting against somebody and stab them in the back. Congratulations, sweetheart. Whoa, quite an accomplishment. So, I was just like, I'm like so over this scene and this character. And, we get to the part where Rob is like, so why you dislike her? And I'm sitting there thinking, all right, cool. All right, so we're gonna do this, right? You're gonna tell us why, because I was just sitting there talking to my subscribers, like, we've been waiting, so here it is, right? And then they did this thing where I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. I was like, what? I rewind that scene twice. The scene comes back on, and she's like, well, now you know everything. Maybe I fast forward maybe I just fast forward too fast, and I didn't really see it. Let me just go back and double check. And then she says that again. I'm like, so let me get this straight. We're right at the cusp of finding out, Rob is like, so, don't give me a suspense, why don't you tell me? And then they do that, and I'm like, okay. So I got up. I took like 30 seconds. I took like a minute break because I was just like, I can't believe. And I came back and I was like, all right, fine. That's how it's gonna be. And again, I'm sorry. I know the quality isn't really perfect on this one, but I'm not gonna lie. I kind of forgot to charge up my other tablet, and if you don't have it at 100%, because it's a really old tablet, it dies pretty fast, way faster than it should. So that's why I'm not using my other tablet until I'll probably do my GH review. But I didn't want to sit there and have it go too long, or have my review go too late. Yes, they did that, and again, we don't know. We don't know why Gwen is backstabbing curse word that she is, and I guess we'll know. I don't know. At some point, I give Days a lot of credit because they do things on this show that GH should be doing on the show. is that when they want to come to a point, they do it. You know, they don't waste time. They go right to it. GH has a way of just stretching out things and have it going way too far. And I've been giving a lot of points up into this point. Now, one of the things that Gwen was saying was that she was going to try to get. Her plan was to blow up Abigail's marriage by making it seem that Abigail was being unfaithful with Jake. You know, there's so much sneaking around going on between Jake and Kate that, you know, plant a few things here, some whispers there. You know, Chad, being the hothead that he is, will just sit there and react first and ask questions at some point. That's her second part of her grand master plan, because this is what we're doing. Now, Chad and Jake are in the garage, and, you know, Chad is not there pretty much interrogating Jake about, you know, why did you lie to me? You know, I talked to her, Shin is this, and then he said that, you know, you didn't call him about anything, and, you know, so I wouldn't know what's really going on. And before, you know, Jake gets a chance to really say anything, Shin walks in. Shin walks in, and, Chad holds out his hand to sit there and shake his hand, and Shin, well, being a dick, decides not to do that. And then he comes in and he's like, you know, I got a message from Jake or whatever. You know, he called me on his on my personal cell phone. 1 second. Calls him on his personal cell phone, so that it does back up Jake's story. Which is actually really odd now that I think about it. Something's not adding up. Something is really not adding up. So let me just kind of take you back to yesterday. You know, you got Jake and you got Gwen Snithdale arguing about Kate and this, that, and third. Chad walks in, and Chad is like, what are y'all talking about? And this is when Jake is like, alright, cool. I made a call to Shin or whatever to find out, you know, about a position as far as being in, you know, the family business, you know, a better position than what you were giving me. I guess he must, okay, that's what up happening. Something didn't add up. So I guess he must have left. Now I think about it, yeah, he left and then he came back. Anyway, I just want to make sure, because I was like, this really doesn't make any sense. But anyway, Shin came and he was there thinking about what kind of position that Jake should have. So he was like, you know what, listen, you're going to get VP, you know, and, you know, based on your work, we'll see if you stay and if you move up or whatever, and that's it. And then, you know, Jake tries to shake his hand. Then Jake has been dealing with car parts and grease and stuff like that, so I understood why Shin didn't shake his hand. So Shin walks off, and, you know, Chad just laughs or whatever. He was like, yeah, so I'm just gonna be, you know, making some popcorn and watching you fall flat on your face. And he walks off. And then Kate comes back. Kate is like, you know, listen, I've had a day with Jennifer acting like a 16-year-old girl and everything else. So, you want to have some fun? That's pretty much the look and the type of tone that she gave Jake. And, you know, Jake, you know, and very adamant to serve and please. Now Jennifer was there talking to JJ, and she was pretty much owning up to her mistakes as far as, you know, a better way to handle it. And JJ does what most of the men in this show is doing when it comes towards Abigail, just in general, just not letting, you know, these women own up to their mistake, not being accountable for their actions. I'm not sitting there saying you got to sit there and curse her out or really kind of dig in, but like, you're not doing her any favors by sugarcoating. That's literally what JJ did for an entire hour that I was watching it. So after a while, I was like, oh, well, see where this is going. what's going on social media? And then at the end, because she was sitting there waiting to talk to Jennifer, and then she left, and yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Now, before I go, I do want to add, because um, I always mispronounce your name, but I know your last name is Jeffries. She wrote a comment, and it really made me sit there and think, like, wow. So, here's the thing, and I'm not going to sit there and kind of really just go over it and, whatever, but, this is more about the way that, Lonnie was sitting there treating Eli, the way that Sarah was sitting there treating Xander. This disrespectful way where I felt like, in a lot of ways, I'm not going to really kind of get too much into it until I can kind of get a better grasp or better talking points, but I'm not really feeling, the way that some of these women are treating their partners. Now, even if it was vice versa, even if it was Xander treating Sarah like crap and, Eli treating Lonnie like crap or whatever, you don't disrespect someone that you claim to love, And although Sarah has been pretty much cleaning up her act, Lonnie, on the other hand, has been, well, yeah. I felt like I had more to say, but, again, what it really came down to is that she really disrespected Eli on so many levels and just really degraded him. And it's not really so much about who has the pants in a relationship or whatever, but it's more just about mutual respect. And I felt like, I get it, it's a soap opera, whatever, and yada yada yada, but it still doesn't make it right. And I feel like sometimes people, even if it's unintentionally, they take certain aspects from different shows and whatever, and that's just something that I feel like that's not really something that they should be representing, is to be treating someone like they're less than. And I'll leave it at that. And I may bring it back up again because, well, clearly, Lonnie is going to be acting like Lonnie, and I'm probably going to have more to say. But I just want to kind of just give a shout out to last name Jeffries, because I was like, yes, that's literally everything that I was sitting there thinking about. And with that being said, I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode, and I'll catch you in the next review.